Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Caregiver and Spoonie podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And also thank you for your emails, your support, your feedback. I really appreciate it. Now let's just keep growing the community so we can find the support that each of us need, okay? So let's get into today's episode. Now, I want to start the episode with this question. Who's in control of your life? Now, this is very important question. The reason why it's a very important question is because sometimes we feel like we're not in control. We feel like you might feel like you're not in control of your life. Everything is just happening to you, not for you. And I know how that feels because if you have listened to my story, I'm not gonna go into too much detail right now because I have explained this a lot, like the way that I grew up and everything. Like I felt like I didn't have any control of my life. That's pretty much how I felt. I was blaming everything on everybody else. I wasn't taking responsibility. I was just like, oh, I'm doing this because I feel this way, or my thoughts were controlling me pretty much. And that's one of the things that happens a lot, especially with spoonies and caregivers. Like we get stressed, we let the stress control our lives, so we get mad, then we get angry, and then we snap. Which obviously it's something that we need to start working on. But the problem is that if we don't take control of our lives, if we don't know what exactly is controlling our lives, either is our thoughts, either is our emotions, or an external source like your family or somebody like that is trying to manipulate you, you're not gonna feel 100% yourself. So this is why I wanted to do this episode, because I've seen it. I can tell you by experience how it feels when somebody, an external source, in this case, let's say my uncle, he always wanted to control my life. My mom, same thing. So the day that I moved out of the house to live with my now wife, my mom didn't like it. I have talked about this, how she didn't really like it, but it's like, you know what? I had to leave the nest. So I after I moved out of my mom's house, I realized that I never had any control of my life. It was always her telling me what to do, and I was letting my feelings run my life because I was always angry. I was always mad and tired and everything. So I really never had any control of my life. And now when I see it with my wife, I know that a lot of spoonies have the same issue. Like I've seen it from spoonies that I know, that sometimes their caregivers, it could be their spouse or a family member or even their nurses, tell them what to do, how to feel, how to do everything. And the problem with that is that the spoonie itself, and this is for the caregivers, the spoonie itself is going to feel lost because they don't know what to do. They're going to start losing their independence pretty much. And this is if pretty much you have like a third party source, like a family member, like I said, trying to control you. So if you're somebody like that tells the spoonie or whoever you're taking care of like what they need to do all the time, how they need to feel, and pretty much you take control of their lives, it's not going to help them get any better, because they're gonna lose their independence. They're not gonna feel independent. They're gonna feel like they depend on somebody. And I've seen it as well. In some instances, people get used to it. People like the spoonie can get used to it, and if we don't change that at one point, what happens if, let's say, the caregiver, if it's a spouse, passes away, or if the nurse leaves for another job, or something happens with that caregiver or that person that is controlling your life, you're gonna feel lost. As the spoonie, you're gonna feel lost. So you have to take control of your life. And here's the thing though, If your thoughts and your emotions are controlling you, you're just reacting to life. And let me give you this example. For example, when I was mad, before I went to therapy, I was angry all the time. Somebody will say something to me, I will get mad and I will start literally fighting the person. No matter what, I will start fighting the person. Why? Because I was letting my emotions literally take control of me. And a lot of people live like that, especially nowadays. If you have seen the news, you have seen a little bit of rage going around, and that's why I wanted to do this episode, because I see that a lot of people live in a way that their emotions are taking over. And one of the things that I realize, at least in my experience with therapy, is that we control our emotions. But in order for us to be able to control our emotions, we have to become aware of them. And in order for us to become aware of them, we have to face the reason why we feel that way. If we feel mad, if we feel angry, if we feel sad, and things like that. So we have to do a lot of things. And I know it's hard. I haven't lied to you guys. It is hard to control your emotions, because sometimes you're gonna have to face your past. Sometimes you're gonna have to understand what's going on inside of you, and that's for the emotional control that sometimes you yourself lose to yourself, you know. But when it comes to your thoughts, if your thoughts are taking over your life, that's a little bit more complicated, because when your thoughts take over your life, for example, if you keep thinking, in my case, again, this is what I can tell you. If you have listened to my story before, you might have realized that my family, since I was little, they made me feel like I was a loser. So my thinking of myself was that I was just a loser. I wasn't gonna be nobody. I didn't go to college, so per my uncle, I wasn't gonna be a somebody in life. So I felt like a loser. I always had that thought in my life, or in my mind. So anytime I will try to do something, I was like, what's the point? I'm a loser. That's how your thoughts take over your life. Like for a Spoonie, it's like, what's the point of going to the doctor? I'm sick, they can't fix me. That's your thought, that's your thinking taking over, instead of helping you, you're putting yourself down. You're pretty much stopping yourself short. You're not gonna be able to go to the doctor and explain exactly what's going on, because you already have that thought in your mind that says, what's the point? What's the point of going to the doctor? I have all these medicines. You know, you're setting yourself to fail, pretty much, if you're thinking negatively. If you're thinking negatively and you let your negative thoughts control your life, then you're not going to be able to get better at one point. It doesn't matter what it is, because here's the problem, or here's one of the things that I have found out with reading some books in regards to the mind and The Secret, like The Secret or The Law of Attraction, if you believe in that. Or reality, or life, pretty much, is dictated by what we think. So if you're thinking negatively, you're gonna have a negative life. And when I started to put into practice what exactly I was reading, like with The Secret, like, you know, change your thoughts, instead of thinking negatively, think positive. And I started changing that, and it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It is hard. I saw a change in my life. I saw a change in my way of thinking. I saw a change in my attitude. And here's the thing, though. It helped me, especially when I was going to therapy. I was like, I have to do this. I have to push, and I have to push. And I did. And another thing that I see with what I'm talking about is with my wife. She used to be very negative, like I just mentioned. Like, she will be like, oh, like what's the point of going to the doctor? What's the point of talking to the doctor? And with reading some of the books that we have read, like The Secret, and there's other books that we're reading, like Think and Grow Rich, and all these quotes and things like that. Like I was like, how about you just start trying to think positively? And I see the change on her life. I see the change on her health. Yeah, she still has health issues that obviously takes longer for that to go away, but she actually is doing a lot better. And I'm not saying that it's just the thinking alone, but that actually helps, because instead of thinking negatively, you start thinking positively, and you don't set yourself to fail. You're like, well, I'm gonna try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, let's move on to the next big thing. That's exactly pretty much what you need to do in those type I mean, that's what you need to do if you have negative thoughts. If your thoughts are negative and they're taking control of your life, you have to find a way to change them from negative to positive. When you do that, you will see a change. And like I said, it's not gonna be like a change in like 1 or 2 days. It takes time. It takes practice, pretty much. It takes a lot of practice. You have to keep going. Same thing with the feelings. So like if you're, or I mean, same thing with the feelings. If you feel sad and you let that run you over, then you're gonna feel sad, and that leads to depression, and then that leads to other things. If you feel like you can't do anything, then you really can't do anything. So it's the same thing between thoughts and feelings, because like I said, our thoughts create our feelings. If we're thinking sad, you're gonna feel sad. If we're thinking happy, you're gonna feel happy. If you're thinking anger, you're gonna feel angry. So that's one of the things that I realized with my story and my wife's story, and I wanted to share that with you because I see it a lot. And now in the news, it's pretty much on every day, like how people don't want to wear masks because they feel like they don't have to. But in the end, it's just that that's how they feel, and that's fine. But when they react to in anger, then there's something deeper going on. There's something deeper going on. It's like your thoughts and your feelings are running you over. It's like the quote that says, I don't remember if it was Tony Robbins or it was somebody else that said, like, does life happen to you or for you? And depending on what your answer is pretty much who's gonna be in control. And what you need to do is that you need to be in control of your life. You need to be in control of your thoughts. You need to realize why you're thinking that way. You need to realize how come you're thinking that way, and also why you're feeling that way, and what's bringing that feeling to you. And like I said, with Spoonies, it's gonna be even harder because you're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel in pain. You're gonna feel all of these things that you're feeling because of what you're going through. But you can do it. Like, look at my story from literally being mentally broken by my own family to what I'm doing now. I see everything. I see my past, and I'm like, wow, I've been able to do a lot more than I ever thought. So, and same thing with my wife. Like, when she got sick, when she got all her diagnosis and everything, and I have mentioned this before, I honestly thought I was going to lose her, and she was very negative about everything. She's like, I'm going to die. This isn't worth it. But I was able to help her change her view in regards to the situation, from feeling negative or having negative thoughts about it to at least be able to change it. And everybody still has negative thoughts, but the one of the things that's going to help you, and it helps me because I still have negative thoughts, I still have negative feelings, and the only thing that has helped me so far, and I'm just gonna let you know, is I ask myself, like, how come I'm feeling like this? Why am I thinking that? How come I'm thinking that? And then you'll get the answer. But it's up to you. Don't let your life being run by your thoughts, just your thoughts and your feelings, because that just means that you're having a life that is pretty much, or I mean, you're living your life unconsciously. You're just living by your thoughts, you're living by your feelings, but you're not really living your life. You're not living your life, you're just like going with the emotion, literally. And that's not how life is supposed to be. That's not what you're supposed to be. And not on one of the things that we can do to stop our thoughts and feelings from taking over is, like I mentioned, you have to literally be stronger than your feelings, be stronger than the fear, be stronger than your thoughts, and ask yourself this question: how come I'm feeling like that? Why is that in my mind? Why am I thinking that? One of the things that I know that it helped me, I don't know if it's gonna help you, but I'm just gonna give you the option, is that if I'm having a negative thought or anything like that, I ask myself this question: is like, where have I feel that before? Or how come I feel this again? Because here's one thing that I realized, at least with me, and or something that I was reading about history, like about feelings and all of that, is that if you have a feeling right now, like for example, when I was feeling angry and upset and all of that, now that I feel upset for, like, my wife says something and I start feeling angry about it, I was like, hold on. How come I feel like that again? Where have I feel like that before? And obviously it goes to my childhood, and I'm like, okay, I have felt like this before due to this reason, and this new other reason because of what my wife said, or the way that my wife acted, that triggered that feeling. So we're going to be able to find a lot of things about ourselves, but sometimes you're gonna have to find something in your past that you might not want to deal with. That's one of the things that I want to let you know, because this isn't easy. It's not gonna be easy. It's hard, but it's worth it. It is so worth it, because once you start taking control of your thoughts and your feelings, you literally take control over your mind, over your body, because you will be able to be aware of what you feel, what you're thinking. And like I mentioned, the example with the Spoonies, if you're a Spoonie and you feel negative about going to the doctor because the doctor doesn't want to listen, then you can say, like, I'm just gonna go to the doctor, I'm going to tell them what's going on. If they listen, good. If they don't, at least I'm telling them. It's up to them to listen. I can't force them to listen. You're gonna be able to see things from a different perspective, not just from the thought or from the feeling, which is actually gonna make it a lot better to communicate. It's gonna make it a lot better to know what's going on in your mind. It's gonna make it easier for you to understand why you feel a certain way every time something happens. So that's the thing. And when you let your feelings and your thoughts control your life, technically you're a Spoonie. It doesn't matter if you're a caregiver, because you can be a caregiver and a Spoonie. Like, I'm a caregiver and a Spoonie because I'm still going through my PTSD. Like, you don't get over it though. Just so you understand, you don't get over PTSD or mental health. You just get better at dealing with it. So the same thing happens when you're dealing with your thoughts and your feelings. You'll never get over those thoughts. You will never get over those feelings. You're just gonna be better at managing them. So that's actually gonna help you get better, not bitter, better. It's gonna help you get better, and you will see it. Like, you will see it if you try it and you keep doing this over and over and over again. You will see the change in your attitude. You will see that things that will make you mad or angry, or things that will make you think negative about yourself, they're starting to disappear. And that's how we actually take control. This is what we can do. Just sometimes we have to face it. Sometimes we have to face it. That's what we have to do. Like, go at it like it's life or death. And it can be for some people, depending on how deep in negative thoughts they are or negative feelings. It can be life or death, because it can lead to depression, which obviously, if untreated, it can lead to suicide. And obviously, we have seen so far a lot of suicides going on right now because of everything that's going on due to stress and things like that. So I want our community to be able to help people that are going through that, and that's why I'm opening up to you and letting you know, like, hey, it can be done. We can actually make a dent in regards to the mental health issues. So we can make a dent, and we can help Spoonies no matter what they're suffering. We can help caregivers. We can give them support. That's why I'm doing this. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about on today's episode. I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes, and I hope you guys are enjoying the topics. If you have any questions, you can also send me a message on Facebook, Instagram. You can send me an email at thecaregiverandspoonie@gmail.com, where you can also share your story anonymously. If you have any topic suggestions, you can send it to me in the same way. And also, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and YouTube. And always share, like, and subscribe again. And as always, always take care of yourself and have a great day.